All right, welcome to another video from the chart reader. So today we are going to look at the psychedelic sector. We have 6 tickers and we're going to do what we always do, right? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly to see what's setting up. We have our 5 moving averages, and then I got to zoom out just a little bit, but there are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do manually draw. And then when we're done up here, we will use the MACD, RSI, and then recently added volume as our lower indicator stack, okay? Again, 80% of the work is up here, 20% of the work is down here, okay? So we'll start with mind medicine, and mind medicine definitely doesn't look great, but there's a couple positive things I do want to start with. So obviously we were hoping for this gap fill. It never really happened, right? But what ends up happening is once this crazy tank dropped, eventually the 20 came down, and now more recently the 50 looks like it's coming down, right? So when it was the 8 by itself, it just struggles. When you gain the second line, you kind of start to get a little bit of a, hey, maybe we're going to go over it. And it kind of actually becomes a good thing getting to. You go a little more horizontal with the cluster, right? With the third one, again, now you're up and down. Maybe you'll start getting a little bigger. And hey, look, obviously I wanted to break the 20 and run to the 50. Same rule applies. If we can break the 50, hopefully we'll run up to the 100, right? So it is actually a relatively good thing that this is coming down. Hopefully it gives this a little bit more breadth and a little bit more room to just go up naturally. But that said, look, where are we, right? Today was not a good day. We are well under the 8 as well as the 20. That's not what I like to see. Definitely not good MACD, RSI, but what I really don't like here is the volume, right? So volume has been so low that it's now just dramatically lowering the 50-day average, right? So again, you get the average, which is important, right? Because as good as it is to go this high today, all we really did was go as high as the average, right? And all these other days haven't been. So it gives you a little bit more view than just a single day pop in volume, right? So not liking that our average volume is starting to decrease. That's not a good thing. You need volume, one, to make your technical readings a little better, and then two, volume equals more percentage generally, right? So not a good weekly. Again, the way we like to do our swing trades is we want a good weekly chart, which starts with rule number 1, get over the 8, right? If your weekly's good, you'll at least get more good days than bad days, or at least, you know, it'll balance out. If you get one monster good day and then 4 little bad ones, hey, it's still at least a good week, right? So that's why I do like making sure I have a good weekly before I get in. But yeah, overall, not liking the chart. I will say though, I'm glad the 50's coming down. Hey, we weren't able to run up to it, but hey, at least it's come down, right? And again, hopefully, like I said, there's really been no major buy signals on this thing yet. So no alerts to draw, nothing really to call out. CYBN, oh man, CYBN, this has been horrible. Look, I've used CYBN a number of times as my why I love the 8, right? Right here you can clearly see it breaks the 8 and it's a beautiful uptrend. Right here it loses the 8 and it's a horrible downtrend. Right here it breaks the 8 and you get, hey, a decent uptrend. You lose the 8 and then literally there has not been a single good buy signal since losing the 8 right here. And I can even keep going back, right? Again, lose it. I mean, it's just, this is a good stock to play the 8. You know what I mean? So hey, volume's up right here, and obviously volume's been up on a couple of these days, but the volume's been nothing but selling, right? That's not what you want. That's not a good reason to beat the 50 average, right? You want that to be a bunch of green candles going over, right? So this is simply horrible, but I sincerely hope you knew not to put any money into this since this day right here, right? So, yeah, CYBN, I love it because I know it plays the 8 well. And believe me, when I get good confirmation that this, because again, look, this gets over the 8, yeah. And then I see this day, but you know this isn't good confirmation, right? And then again, a doji not on right on the 20, that's not good enough. And then obviously the day after the doji, you get the truth, right? So bunch of reasons to know not to fall for this trap right here. And then again, just, yeah, nothing good here. Nothing good here. Not too much time to waste. You can only imagine how bad the weekly is, right? That shouldn't have been hard to look at. And yeah, nothing too much, right? Look, don't get me wrong. If we can start to curve, this is a nice little gap fill right here, right? Obviously, it's not the same gap fill that we just saw with mind medicine, right? So generally, you know, when people say gap fill, this is a true gap fill when it's here, then here, and there's truly nothing. In my book, CYBN, this is a gap fill. When there's nothing but red down, eventually we will nothing but green up, you know. Hopefully it's as dramatic. Sometimes it's a little more horizontal, but up nonetheless. This is fillable very quickly, actually, if the conditions are right. So nothing good. I'm just kind of giving you a little extra nugget there. So this is my big disappointment. I'll be honest. I wanted to make this trade, but I never really did. So let me zoom out before I zoom in. So the one reason I really like this thing was there was a huge downtrend that we were sitting on. So from here, we go here, and then go right there, right? So this is where it hit since this original one, and then you just go all the way down. There was a minor break, and obviously we'll talk a little bit about it, but yeah, I wanted that 100 just a little, and oh man, I thought this would fly. I really did. It never panned out the way I wanted to. So let me zoom in and talk about this. But yeah, I've been stalking this one a lot. So the break of the 50 was supposed to be really exciting, okay? You get one day and then a real nice monster confirmation, right? But from there, it just starts to get too horizontal and actually never really makes a good move. There was one little, I'm going to zoom in, there was one little actual test of the 100, but the 100 just never seemed to be, and then there was a real bad rejection. This is starting to shape up all right. So again, back on my radar, but I know I want to get over the 100, and really the safest thing might just be get over the 200, right? But I like that though we got rejected, we had a good two-line cluster bounce. Still not over the 8, right? So obviously I'd want to be over the 8, but looks like maybe volume's picking up. Again, there is a real big downtrend. I'm not going to draw it again, but if this can get out of the downtrend and actually get over the last 2 lines, it could be a real big thing. There's a lot of lines here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete all these drawings, and we'll make a couple new ones just to get them a little bit more relevant. But yeah, there was a lot of positivity looking good. It just it didn't make the break that would have been nice with a cluster and then that big downtrend that I showed, right? So I'm going to do that line right there. I'll go into the weekly actually and make some lines. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, perfect. Let's make a line. Actually, so you know what? No, because we did one from the short term. I'll take that. So that's going to be an important line. And then I'll make just one more. I guess we'll use this guy. I'll use this guy. Yeah, I'll use this guy. That's fine. Okay, that's a good 1, 2, 3 right there. I guess we can make one right there too. We'll see what happens. Let me see on the back to the daily. But where are we right now? This actually isn't too bad a weekly. If we can get a decent Friday, we'll at least pull back up to 50% candle. 50% candle is roughly right here, right? I'm not looking for the exact 50% point, but we're at least not giving up too much. And hey, look, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks over the 8, right? So still maybe a little bit of hope. It couldn't quite do it on this first push that we were looking for. At least I'll tell you I was looking for. Maybe on the second push it could do it, right? So I'm definitely still stocking this. Let me zoom out just a little bit. No, you know, I don't think I need to make that other line because from there we do have, from here we have 1 line, 2 line, and then this line right here. So I do like this right here. Look, I'll tell you, if this can definitely get over $4, that'd be a beautiful place to trade it because we will be well beyond that downtrend right there, right? But at this point, this thing looks like it's just been going down, horizontal down, try to go up, another down, I mean, I think it wants to go up, but just hasn't been as violent as I wanted it to. So yeah, I never made a swing here, but I've been watching this one. Yeah, nice. Overall, nothing too great here. Okay, compass again. This actually was kind of shaping up, right? We have 3 lines in a cluster. Wanted to break it, definitely comes down, looked like it bounced, not the good confirmation we want, right? So right now we're definitely below it, but there's at least still a little bit of an uptrend you can kind of see going on, right? So hopefully tomorrow isn't too bad, but really overall, we've been through a little bit more than half the tickers at this point. Everything's pretty much been going horizontal, right? I mean, I'm literally going to just go back real quick. MNMD, This thing's literally been as horizontal as it can be, right? CYBN, BN. Oh, perfect. I hit that right. This one was horrible, but it had at least a little bit moment, but then it did this. Hopefully this one's the outlier, because this one's just doing really, really bad. And then ATAI, again, not as loud as horizontal, because like I said, there's a little bit of an uptrend, right? It definitely did. This was at least not too bad, but overall, you can kind of say it's just kind of staying horizontal. It's not really going up, right? So, like I said, we've seen through Oh yeah, I was right. Sorry, CMPS. It's really, this is pretty indicative of what the sector looks like. And again, like ATAI, what could have been a real nice cluster break of 3 just didn't follow through as much as you would expect, right? And again, we've talked about this. If you get multiple lines and a real big candle, I'm expecting real big confirmation, not something like this, right? So hopefully you knew and were not faked out if you were watching this guy, right? I understand there was one good day of volume. I understand there was one good candle. We're not here for 1 or 2 good days, right? We want a nice sustained uptrend. That's how you make some good, easy money, right? So, yeah, nothing too spectacular here. Ooh, a lot of lines here. Look, again, wanted to get over the 8, couldn't quite do it. Hey, maybe tomorrow will get us up. And it's not that far, right? It's another 20, 30 cents. But, yeah, not too positive here, really. And again, like I said, the whole thing has been pretty horizontal. Oops, one too many L. SEEL, Cellos. Oh, I'll be honest, I did not know this was setting up like this. Look at this. This is actually pretty interesting. So where are we? Look. We've tried to break the 200. We come back down, but really you can really say go horizontal with it. And then this has been nice. I'll be honest, this is not a ticker I've been looking at, but this could be really interesting. So we are over all of them. We do have a nice little uptrend, and we're still actually over 50% on this day. And are we? So this day closed at 108. And we closed right here at 108. So that is actually an exact parallel line. I'm not going to try to hit that as cleanly. But yeah, you can see it. That's actually on the line, right? So this is still good. We do have golden cross right there. Maybe another golden cross. I'd be lying if I said I knew this was going on. What's this? Let me delete some lines and make some new lines, actually. And I might be setting an alert here. And before I create the alert, remember, an alert is not an immediate buy, okay? An alert simply is an immediate go look at that thing, right? So, and hey, maybe if the alert's a little bit older or if it's like a brand new one, you can kind of see how that plays out. But generally, look, it's not an immediate buy. The only time it's a buy is if you end up making that a stop buy, right? So just kind of keep those things in mind. But I'm going to put a line right here for sure. Oh man, I don't want to put another one on this right there, but okay, I got that right there. Let me go to the weekly. I'll put another one right here. Just the top of this guy. Right there. Let me go to the weekly here. Okay. So I would have put a line right there on the weekly. Let me still put it right there. I'll take that. Okay, I'm okay with that. So real quick, let's talk about the weekly. Monster break of 3 lines on the weekly and then a doji follow-up. Next week will be monstrously important for Cellos. It will either keep going and work its way probably to this 131 line, which again, $1 to $1.30 is a pretty big jump. That's almost 30%, right? So $1.10 to that, almost 20%, right? Hey, you can't be too mad at that. Otherwise, the doji is just too much uncertainty and we're coming down. But this actually looks really interesting. I'm gonna be honest. So I'll set the alert for 115. Let's do it. You know what? Let's actually set the alert. Let me see what number this is. 118 and then what? No, sorry. What number are you? 116. Let's do 116. I'll set my alert. I'm gonna set an alert for 116. Oops. Set an alert, not 117, 116. Okay, cool, perfect. Again, I would love to know if that crosses and I'll act accordingly. But hey, couple things. I like that the MACD is definitely going up and there's nice separation. I do see green over red. It's obviously not monstrous, but I do see it. And hey, again, that's a good RSI number in my book. I can swing that for a bit, right? And hey, we've actually had 1, 2, 3, and we'll call it 3.5 out of the last 6 days have either been pretty much on the line or above it, right? So I'm happy with that. That means more buying has been happening than the last 50-day averages on a little bit more than half the week, right? I actually really like that. So interesting setup. This is the only one that's positive. Hey, I will say it does look like it's curving a little bit, so maybe it'll come down to $1 and bounce up, right? There's a couple possibilities. But nonetheless, I'm really interested if 115 or 116, whatever we actually just set that at, happens. And then one more time on the weekly. Big candle, broke 3, and you're giving me a doji. This does not count. Next week will probably be real telling for Celos. So keep this one on the radar, actually. And then last on the list is TRUFF. Okay, first thing to call out, look at that volume, okay? 26,000 shares, okay? That's nothing, all right? So, man, I mean, again, let's just go back to the last one because Celos, I can't imagine. Look, this one's at least 500,000. Let's go back to the other one. Compit, 300. Again, these aren't wildly big numbers. ATAI, what are you at? 800. Hey, we're getting there. CYBN, this one's actually in the millions, right? This one's at 500,000, but you can see at one point it was definitely like, that was a pretty steep drop down, right? But it was a little closer to the millions before, right? TRUFF is at 26K, okay? That's nothing. That's a below minimum wage salary if it was $1, right? So make sure you know that you're playing in a low volume one, and I've said it, you want your volume to be high, right? That's one of my golden rules of trading, and I talk about that volume minimum entry for a stock, right? So it's things to consider, but always really difficult this low in volume to use technicals, okay? None, because again, just one wild swing, if someone buys like just like this, one wild swing up in the 400,000s of a sell, that's not good, right? Again, one big, like it's silly. It's real silly. Nonetheless, where are we? We're going horizontal. Look at this cluster, right? You have all the lines right here. Hey, I will say, and let me go to the monthly because I know this has made a good uptrend at one point. Damn, you can't really see it on the monthly at all. And you can see how it doesn't sustain, right? If the monthly is bad, this is probably when it did really well. So when was this? July of 22. Let's see if we can get to July real quick. Because my point really more than anything is just to say, oh man, yeah, even that I wouldn't say buy this. Yeah, again, no. I know see, I'm going to zoom too far and that's not what I'm trying to do on this video. Low volume makes technicals hard, okay? Just sincerely remember that. Honestly, there's not too many stocks in this sector. That's why I have it. If anyone has a recommendation, I'm more than happy to add another one. But yeah, that is why I have this one. But yeah, technicals are a little hard on this thing, right? But again, could go crazy if it goes up here. But even you see here, right, when it was doing it, I mean, yeah, there was a couple indicators to see it. But I wouldn't want to trade in this, right? This is still really low volume. You know what I mean? So I'm never going to tell you to buy or sell something. I hope you know that watching these videos, but be careful when volume's that low. I'm going to stress that one last time. Hey, I hope you're learning. I hope you subscribe. If you don't, I at least sincerely appreciate the time you're putting into this. So thank you again.